So, brace yourselves for a tragedy. Someone out there, boy?
My lord! Help me! The castle is under attack!
Ah! Let's, get my armor on, shall we? Let's go ahead and put these on. I guess, oh, because this boosted my stats, allowing me to wear these. Okay. We'll stick with that for now, actually. It almost felt like the wardens that I was using was causing some issues, but maybe it wasn't.
Darling, I heard fighting outside and I feared the worst. Are you hurt?
I'm fine. What's going on?
A scream woke me up. There were men in the hall, so I barred the door. Did you see their shields? Those are Howe's men. Why would they attack us?
He's betrayed father.
You don't think Howe's men were delayed? On purpose? That bastard. I'll cut his lying throat myself. Have you seen your father? He never came to bed.
Maybe he stayed up with Arl Howe.
We must find him.
Can you still handle a weapon?
I am no Orlesian wallflower. Give me a sword and I'll use it. Now let's go.
Actually, she's an archer, so I'll go ahead and give her a bow. There you go.
All right, all right.
In fact, let me go ahead and
Perhaps we can salvage
Can I
some
get you a
things here,
ladder
darling.
so you can get off my back?
Some of your father's belongings are in that trunk.
I need dexterity if I want to get this, so. I guess we can grab some of these extra abilities here. A warrior that can now res a fallen team member. Woo!
Got it.
Can she pick locks? I guess I haven't leveled her like that. Yeah, this part right here.
No! My little Oren! What manner of fiend slaughters innocents?
Not just innocents. Children.
Oh, I'll look. I'll remember this day when Hal dies screaming like the dog he is. Oh, poor fuckers. Let's go. I don't want to see this.
Just said you didn't want to, that you would look after I told you not to look, and then you said you didn't want to see this anymore. But then again, that moment, how do you really process what you're experiencing or looking at or thinking?
I love how desperate you are. You're pathetic.
Alright, so that's activated.
And I shall do the same to Hal when I see him. Oh, dear Landra. I'm so sorry. If she hadn't come to me, if she hadn't been here.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back? All right, all right.
So what's interesting is it seems the lock bash mod that I added doesn't seem to be working. Oh well. Once I get Morrigan, that'll change.
Can you hear the fighting? Hal's men must be everywhere.
How do we get out of the castle?
The servants' passage leads out from the larder. But we must find your father first. The front gates. That's where your father must be.
And what if father isn't there?
Listen, darling. We haven't much time. If we can't find your father, you must get out of here alive. Without you and Fergus, the entire Kusen line dies here. If Hal's men are inside, they must already control the castle. We must use the servants' entry in the larder to escape. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
Then let us be swift.
I'm very curious to eventually find out, because I've never, as I mentioned, I wasn't able to play through Inquisition as many times as I wanted to, just because it felt grindy.
The castle has fallen. I'm getting out of here.
Don't be a coward! Stand and fight!
Yes, my lord. Here they come.
But what I was gonna say is that I remember in Inquisition, we were able to get word from our hero Ferelden here. And I'm curious what the response and word that my Inquisitor, when we get to Inquisition in this run, is going to get from this hero Ferelden here. Just rather curious what the actual response is going to be.
We will not be defeated!
What's also going to be interesting is, of course, whether or not Morgan will comment on it, because as I mentioned, the intention is to do a full romance with Morgan in this run.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
So if I recall, Morgan is able to comment about the hero Ferelden to the Inquisitor in an Inquisition, so...
So you can get off my back.
Alright, I need to rearrange these. Hold on. I want to separate my sustains from my main activated abilities. It's interesting, the tactics have it where, oh, okay. So, apparently I'm always supposed to have shield wall up.
You're gonna regret it.
What you've done.
Right.
I'll get on it.
Okay.
You will be avenged, old sage. I swear it.
Yeah. Another chest I can't unlock because I'm not a rogue. Now, I will say this is one of my favorite parts here.
We're getting close to the treasury. The Kuzlan family blade lies inside. Here, darling, take my key. That blade cannot fall into Hao's hands. It should sever his treacherous head.
All right, all right.
Now, I did find a mod that makes it where these Kuzlan pieces, especially the sword, is supposed to actually kind of grow in level, I believe. The shield and the sword. Like, the mod said that it was supposed to have these actually, like, level with you, but I don't know. So, for now, let's go ahead and equip those. Just for the thematic elements that, of course, he would come in here, and when he finds these, he would then want to go ahead and use these. For his family. They may not be as strong as what I was already using, but it fits thematically.
Now's better than later.
How many of you play through this game just holding down the tab button? So you can make sure that you see everything that's highlighted and not miss anything. I wonder if Mother Malal got out okay. Also, just so you know, there is another mod that I was tempted to show you guys. It's called Castle Kuzlan. Where after the, events of, say, Ostagar and you get out Lothering and such, you can actually come back to try and reclaim this castle for yourself. It works to a degree, but there are still some... I still have experienced some technical issues with it, because... Part of it is because the person who made the mod clearly was having to try and make a whole nother extra area.
I see enemies there.
Alright, I'm gonna go straight for the mage over here.
Man the gate! Keep those bastards out as long as you can! Your ladyship, my lord, you're both alive. I was certain Hal's men had gotten through.
Have you seen my father?
He was looking for you two. He told us to hold the hall as long as possible. When I realized what was happening, it was all I could do to shut the gates. But they won't keep Hal's men out long. If you've another way out of the castle, use it quickly.
Where's the Grave Warden?
I've no idea. You don't think he's involved in this, do you?
Perhaps he was sent to kill Bryce? Oh dear. Have you seen him?
When I last saw the Terran, he'd been badly wounded. I urged him not to go, but he was determined to find you. He went towards the kitchen. I believe he thought to find you at the servants' exit in the larder.
Bless you, Sir Gilmore. Make her watch over you.
Make her watch over us all.
Again, you can try out a mod that I found where lets you be able to recruit extra companions you wouldn't normally have, and Sir Gilmore is amongst the list of those extra companions. I like how this guy here is still with us. He's still helping us fight. Alright. Let's get some more willpower so I can have some more stamina to cast abilities. You know what's funny? Despite the amount of times I've played this game, I've hardly ever messed with these things. But maybe that's also because I haven't really played on higher difficulties, where I've heard utilizing these can be quite helpful and effective. So... Heal. Okay. I may as well be a paladin. I guess you could probably consider... That's what you can basically consider this. Is that rather than a straight-up warrior, I'm actually playing as a paladin. I know, a paladin in, in Dragon Age? What? Let's give him charge. But seriously, a plate-wearing warrior who can be able to cast heals, that's a paladin. Although technically in Warcraft, it's that they were priests and then they got martial training and learned how to wear plate and such.
I'll get on it.
So they were basically priests that could be able to wear plate and be able to actually fight in combat. So it's a little different.
Got it.
There, you both are. I was
Bryce,
wondering when you would get here.
Maker's blood, what's happening? You're bleeding.
Al's men found me first. Almost did me in right there.
We need to get you out of here.
I won't survive the standing, I think.
Get up and let's go.
My boy. If only Will could make it so.
Once Hal's men break through the gate, they will find us. We must go.
Someone must reach Burgess. Tell him what has happened.
Hal must have something planned for him too.
Bryce, no. The servant's passage is right here. We can flee together, find you healing magic.
The castle is surrounded. I cannot make it.
I'm afraid the turn is correct. House men have not yet discovered this exit, but they surround the castle. Getting past will be difficult.
You are Duncan, then? The Grey Warden?
Yes, your ladyship. The turn and I tried to reach you sooner.
My youngest son helped me get here. Maker be praised.
I am not surprised.
Are you going to help us?
Whatever is to be done now, it must be quick. They are coming.
Duncan, you are under no obligation to me, but I beg you, take my wife and son to safety.
I will, your lordship, but I fear I must ask for something in return.
Anything.
What is happening here pales in comparison to the evil now loose in this world. I came to your castle seeking a recruit. The Darkspawn threat demands that I leave with one.
I understand.
But what about Sir Gilmore?
Truthfully, you were always my first choice. I will take the Tyrna and your son to Ostagar to tell Fergus and the king what happened. Then, your son joins the Grey Wardens.
So long as justice comes to Hal. I agree.
Then I offer you a place within the Grey Wardens. Fight with us.
My duty is to take vengeance on Arl Howe.
We will inform the king, and he will punish Howe. I am sorry, but a Grey Warden's duties take precedence even over vengeance.
Hal thinks he'll use the chaos to advance himself. Make him wrong, bub. See that justice is done. Our family always does our duty first. The Darkspawn must be defeated. You must go. For your own sake and for Ferelden's.
Then I suppose I must accept.
We must leave quickly then.
Bryce, are you sure?
Our son will not die of Hal's treachery. He will live and make his mark on the world.
Darling, go with Duncan. You have a better chance to escape without me.
Eleanor.
Hush, Bryce. I'll kill every bastard that comes through that door to buy them time. But I won't abandon you.
Mother, are you sure you want to do this?
My place is with your father. At his side to death and beyond.
I'm so sorry it's come to this, my love.
We had a good life and did all we could. It's up to our children now.
Then go, pup. Warn your brother. You know that we love you both. You do us proud.
They've broken through the gates. We must go now.
Goodbye, darling.
We will be traveling south through the hinterlands to the ruin of Ostagar, on the edges of the Korkari Wilds. The Tevinter Imperium built Ostagar long ago to prevent the Wilders from invading the northern lowlands. It's fitting we make our stand here, even if we face a different foe within that forest. The King's forces have clashed with the Darkspawn several times, but here is where the bulk of the Horde will show itself. There are only a few Grey Wardens within Ferelden at the moment, but all of us are here. This blight must be stopped, here and now. If it spreads to the north, Ferelden will fall.
Ho there, Duncan.
King Kalen, I didn't expect
A royal welcome? I was beginning to worry you'd miss all the fun.
Not if I could help it, Your Majesty.
Then I'll have the mighty Duncan at my side in battle after all. Glorious. The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is he?
Allow me to introduce you, Your Majesty.
No need, Duncan. You are Bryce's youngest, are you not? I don't think we've ever actually met.
Oh, Kalen. Kalen. Where do I even start with Kalen? It's worth noting that some of the things that Hal was saying earlier to us about Kalen weren't exactly wrong. The thing is, if you couldn't tell right off the bat, it's kind of shown immediately after he meets Duncan, talking about how he will have Duncan at his side and then refers to how glorious it will be. And it's something that's going to be recurring from Kalen, thinking about wanting to be this grand hero like in the tales that he had heard since he was a child, having one of the fabled Grey Wardens at his side as they defeat the Darkspawn and go down in history as one of the glorious heroes of their time. And it's something that he is very, very, like, what's the term for this? Like, enraptured by the thought of it? Or, you know, just like, he's very captivated by it. It's something he very much is like, yes, it will be wonderful and glorious. He gets very caught up in it. And it kind of plays into how, I guess, I could see his naivete on some of these things. Not really understanding the full situation gravity and seriousness of this whole situation about a possible blight, because, well, he even says, and he's not the only one, are not really sure if this is actually a blight. Now, Duncan, of course, is able to kind of have a better sense of it, because, as we find out later, he's able to actually hear the the archdemon. Non-Great Wardens are not really able to feel that or sense that. Now, I will say, though, look, I'm not really... I guess it's because I'm not really too fond of some of these kind of characters in general, that they have this very kind of naivete about them, where they don't really understand the seriousness of what's going on. So I don't dislike Kalen, because, I'm not too fond of him, but I don't dislike him, and one of the reasons I actually like him is because deep down you can tell he is a good person with a good heart. And one of the reasons and examples I can point to showcase that is actually right here. In this particular origin, if you are a Kuzland, the other origins doesn't really come up that much, but here we can actually then be able to bring up what just happened and let him know, are you not even aware that my father is dead?
Dead? What do you mean?
Pay attention to his response here.
Anything about this?
Terran Kuzland and his wife are dead, Your Majesty. Arl Howe has shown himself a traitor and overtaken High Ever Castle. Had we not escaped, he would have killed us and told you any story he wished.
I can scarcely believe it. Well, how could he think he could get away with such treachery? As soon as we are done here, I will turn my army north and bring Howe to justice. You have my word.
And that right there is one of the reasons I actually like Kalen as a person. Not necessarily as a king, but as a person. Because he doesn't even think about it or such. Just without hesitation, he's like, as soon as we're done here, we are marching straight over there and taking vengeance for your family. Just immediately responds that way. And I love that. That just speaks volumes to me about the kind of person that Kalen is. But as I said, he may be a good person, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's a good king. I think I've heard it say in other settings and such where it's hard for a king to be a good man, or it's hard for a good man to be king. Something along those lines. You guys kind of probably get my point of what I'm trying to say here, though. Is that he may be a good person, but he's not exactly the smartest or brightest or best of kings. Not like his father, who everyone talks about how great of a king that Merrick was. Not so much Kalen, but that's, of course, going to be a factor that kind of plays going forward. Is there nothing that you can do sooner?
Howe knows his actions will cost him his life, but I'll need an army to bring him to justice. No doubt you wish to see your brother. Unfortunately, he and his men are scouting in the wilds.
When will he return?
Not until the battle is over, I fear. Until then, we cannot even send word. I apologize, but there's nothing more I can do. All I can suggest is that you vent your grief against the Darkspawn for the time being.
As long as Arl Howe pays, I'll be happy.
I'm sorry to cut this short, but I should return to my tent. Loghain waits eagerly to bore me with his strategies.
Your uncle sends his greetings and reminds you that Redcliffe forces could be here in less than a week.
Ha! Eamon just wants in on the glory. We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different.
What's funny about that saying is that we know what has actually happened to Eamon and Redcliffe. So, yeah, they probably would not have ended up going there, considering what ends up happening in Redcliffe. Yeah. And, but here, like right here, you can already start to see it. He says, oh, we've already won 3 battles against them, and tomorrow should be no different. I mean, it's not like it's going to be a far worse force or anything. We've already won a few battles. Keep in mind, some of those battles they won were probably small scout forces instead of the actual big horde that they're going to be facing soon. I didn't realize things were going so well.
I'm not even sure this is a true blight. There are plenty of Darkspawn on the field, but alas, we've seen no sign of an archdemon.
Disappointed, Your Majesty?
I'd hoped for a war like in the tales. A king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. But I suppose this will have to do. I must go before Loghain sends out a search party. Farewell, Grey Wardens.
He unfortunately sounds like a boy wanting to pretend playing king. You know, like he's a kid playing a game. You know, like how we did when we were growing up.
What you said is true. They've won several battles against the Darkspawn here.
Well, he didn't seem to take the Darkspawn very seriously.
True. Despite the victories so far, the Darkspawn horde grows larger with each passing day. By now, they look to outnumber us. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the king to act solely on my feeling.
Well, why not? He does seem to regard the Grey Wardens very highly.
Yet not enough to wait for reinforcements from the Grey Wardens of Orlais. He believes our legend alone makes him invulnerable. Our numbers in Ferelden are too few. We must do what we can, and look to Teyrn Loghain to make up the difference. To that end, we should proceed with the joining ritual without delay.
Keep in mind that also, the Grey Wardens of Orlais he's referring to, of course, includes Riordan, and as we find out later, they've already been intercepted and captured by Loghain and Howe's forces because, well, as we learn, Loghain at this time considers Orlais to be the greater threat than the actual Blight. So letting in Grey Wardens from Orlais, oh, well, they must be here on behalf of Orlais. So, yeah. So that's kind of, some of these statements here, you're kind of like knowing already what's going to be coming later. It's kind of ironic that we're like, oh, well, if we had just waited for some of these forces to join us, and we find out that wouldn't have been the case. A hot meal might be nice first.
I agree. We have until nightfall to begin the ritual. Every recruit must go through a secret ritual we call the Joining in order to become a Grey Warden. The ritual is brief, but some preparation is required. We must begin soon.
Why is this ritual so secret?
The joining is dangerous. I cannot speak more of it except to say that you will learn all in good time. Until then, you must trust that what is done is necessary.
Am I the only recruit you have?
No, there are 2 other recruits here already. They have been waiting for us to arrive.
I need to find my brother.
You heard what the king said. He is scouting in the wilds and beyond contact. Be patient. He will return.
What do you need me to do?
Feel free to explore the camp here as you wish. All I ask is that you do not leave it for the time being. There is another Grey Warden in the camp by the name of Alistair. When you're ready, seek him out and tell him it's time to summon the other recruits. Your hound can stay with me while I attend to some business. The Grey Warden tent is on the other side of this bridge. You will find us there should you need to.
There's supposed to be a happy bark sound there, but it didn't play. Ah, there's the music. It's supposed to also show my dog walking with Duncan, but whatever. The Archdemon. The Mabari Warhound. Kaelin. And yeah, that line really speaks volumes here. Like, I had hoped for a war like in the tales, a king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. But I suppose this will have to do. Just all those lines just really immediately let you know the kind of person and king that and mindset that Kaelin has. Son of the legendary King Merrick Theron, Kaelin was the first Ferelden king born into a land free from foreign rule in 2 generations. Since his father's death, he has held the throne alongside his queen, Anora. Huh, bark spawn. Loghain. We'll talk about Loghain more later. I like how this codex gets updated as events play in the game here. Number of bits here. If you guys want me to go ahead and read these for you, like on camera, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I can do a video just kind of reading some of the codex entries. The Grey Wardens. I think there'll be a better time to read that later. Oh yeah, the feast day stuff. Ignore that, so. Okay, so. Find Alistair. Well, we have a whole camp to explore. And we will do that when we return. Stay tuned.